Okay, thanks for being here this afternoon. Thank you, community, for being here. Thank you for letting us in your beautiful home where lives are changed. I'm pretty excited today as mayor of the city to talk about, I think, what I'll call equity at its finest. Seattle, as you well know, we pride ourselves on being an empathetic and compassionate city. The services we provide in the city of Seattle reflect, we think, our values, and I'm honored to be the 57th mayor to reflect and perpetuate these values. I won't take credit for this great city and all of the work that went into developing it in terms of its history, but we can implement a level of excellence and equity perhaps that has been unprecedented. And that's why I'm so excited to talk about CiviForm. With CiviForm, it's now easier and faster for Seattle residents to save money and to get help. Residents have as you well know, a robust set of benefits that they can be eligible for, whether these benefits are utility discounts or scholarships for child care, something as fun as free tickets to the aquarium. When all of our departments and offices work very hard to make sure things are affordable and accessible, and I'll talk about access in a minute, we realize that we can inadvertently or unintentionally create impediments toward that access. We asked in our One Seattle vision for our apartments and our communities to work together to work with the private sector with the goal of supporting our residents to seek access to things that can be recreational in nature, but things such as utility discounts could be very significant just in terms of their affordability and their lifestyle here in Seattle. Seattle, like I said, has over 30 programs that make it affordable to live in Seattle. And this effort, again, when I talk about equity, is trying to make sure that people who don't speak English as a first language, as an example, people that have different educational backgrounds, as an example, can have access. CiviForm is an innovative portal designed as simply a one-stop shop to quickly and conveniently apply for city services to save residents time and money. To make it easier to apply for multiple benefit and discount programs at the same time. Quite candidly, this is a game changer. I sure like saying game changer since we're getting off this all-star stuff. It's a game changer, baby. It's a game changer. So we've been piloting this effort since June of 2021, and over 12,000 people have applied to discount programs and did so under 5 minutes. This is critical data. This is an 80% reduction in time taken to complete an application. Now, what does that mean in terms of dollars and cents? For qualified households, the total available savings through programs that use CiviForm is up to $23,000 per year. Now, imagine that if you are on fixed income or if you are on low income and you're trying to count your dollars just to eat, just to survive. This is critical equity work. I couldn't be prouder than some of the people that I'm going to introduce in a minute. We have several speakers after me. But CiviForm program, quite frankly, is cutting edge. It's not only a bold use of technology, but also it cuts down paperwork and application times. It's just an efficient way to do business. It exemplifies our approach to public-private collaboration. Its development was supported by know-how from technology companies, and its design was informed by testing with the community and nonprofit partners. Now, one of the reasons why this program is showing early success is because of the intentional effort to collaborate with community organizations who quite candidly know their communities better. Examples would be El Centro de la Raza, and right here at Chinese Information Service Center, and the Refugee Women's Alliance, REWA. These organizations, quite frankly, spend their most precious commodity, their time, and their energy, and their heart, to reach communities that perhaps the city has failed to do adequately in the past. We're grateful to have amazing hosts from the Chinese Information and Service Center who have been an essential party throughout this program. Again, thank you for letting us in your home, and we want to thank google.org for your support and expertise in building this tool. Quite candidly, we couldn't do this without these partners. So I'll be proudly signing an executive order and proudly taking credit for nothing I didn't do personally. That's what mayors seem to do. But perhaps pushing this notion of equity and pushing this concept of departments to think creatively, pushing these these partnerships to make sure that everyone, I just honestly believe that people really in this city care about equity, and the only issue becomes, what form does it take? That I don't have to push because I think this city understands it, that this executive order will drive improvements to make it easier for low-income families, again, to quickly apply and receive these benefits. And little bragging rights, not for me or for our city, but for the people that did this work. CiviForm is so effective that it was recently named one of the 50 most transformative smart projects of 2023 by Smart Cities Connect. That's high praise. This is a model that other jurisdictions across the country are learning from and adopting, and we hope to continue to see more embrace this approach. This tool showcases our leadership in innovative technology and is now being used in Bloomington, Indiana, the state of Arkansas, and Charlotte, North Carolina, and we are proud of that because while we care about our Seattle residents and our employees, we care about our country as well. So when we use this expertise that we're very blessed to have here, it's very appropriate that we share it with others. Families in Seattle have struggled every day. They have other things to worry about. As we all know, we're clawing our way out of a pandemic. They're worried about, again, the cost of childcare, the cost of power in their homes. We believe that, again, this is equity at our finest, using our know-how, using our skills to make it easier. So having said that, it's truly my honor to introduce Leah Tivoli, the director of Seattle's Innovation and Performance Team, who, quite frankly, I'll say a little bit about her background. Her short background is she makes the mayor look good. That's the most important thing. But in all seriousness, Leah has over 10 years of public sector experience, and she's particularly proud of her recent collaboration across public, nonprofit, private, and academic partners to design and scale high throughput and low barrier COVID-19 testing sites that served over 1.2 million people. And quite candidly, when I was putting my administration together, her name resonated and was consistently talked about during the COVID struggles that we all had, and your leadership certainly showed itself then. In terms of the vaccination sites and the work you did then. And now, as one of your products and tools in the IAP group, I couldn't be more proud of the work you're doing. So I present to you, Leah. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you, everyone, for being here this afternoon. I'm Leah Tivoli. I'm the Director of Innovation and Performance for the City of Seattle. And as we are all acutely aware, Seattle consistently ranks as one of the top 10 most expensive cities, which has worsened since the pandemic. And despite this crisis of affordability, did you know only 40% of eligible Seattle households are applying to benefits? And this is not a phenomenon unique to Seattle. All over the nation, families are not accessing critical services and benefits due to unintended administrative barriers. I want to celebrate the social workers in the room, the city staff, the technologists, who listen to people, who listen with humility, who are trying to navigate the city's complex benefit system and developed a solution called Affordable Seattle that we know today. So the city offers about 30 programs across 10 departments, and through Affordable Seattle program, everything was brought together into one website called seattle.gov/affordable. This website has served over 100,000 visitors over the last 2 years. But Affordable Seattle is more than just a website. Our approach now includes an application called CiviForm, thank you to google.org, that asks for each piece of information only once, and then reuses this information from one application to the next. Affordable Seattle also includes community organization support, and we know how important that is for people looking for benefits. So through Affordable Seattle, we're doing 3 things. We are increasing awareness of those who are eligible for services and the ease by which they can apply. We're reducing the emotional toll and trauma it takes on people who are experiencing multiple hardships to be asked over and over, can you imagine, across 30 applications, 10 departments, to prove that they are low income. And the third thing is we're looking to increase personalized support. People often think that online portals are the final solution. It's one solution, but we really need to increase personalized support such as community-based organizations who can now apply on behalf of clients within CiviForm with one password. Okay, so CBOs are able to reach people farthest from government services and help them get the benefits they need to survive in Seattle. CiviForm is the first of its kind open source application developed with pro bono support from Google.org fellows. So this was a team that really boosted the capability of city government, including Google researchers, designers, product managers, and software engineers. Google.org fellows work side by side with our city staff, community-based organization, and residents to deepen what we were able to do with user research and accelerate application development. This was an incredible, no strings attached opportunity. CiviForm is built on existing city technology, and all the data lives within the city, and I want to make that really clear. So, as the mayor mentioned, since the initial pilot, we've had 12,000 people signed up in under 5 minutes, which is an 80% reduction in time. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that, you know, the city of Seattle has been testing CiviForm with a handful of programs, okay? With the signing of the executive order today, we are excited to be moving into full gear to bring all city-administered programs onto CiviForm by the end of 2024. These programs, as the mayor mentioned, add up to $23,000 for a family of 4 to make it more affordable to live in Seattle, and we couldn't be more proud of this work today. So before I pass it back, I want to make a few special thank yous to people who have made this possible, because I don't know if you all know, but this has been a project that has gone, I'm on my second baby, you know, okay? It's been going for a long time. Okay, so from our community-based organization, again, I want to thank you, Michael Itti from the CISC, and Caria Wong, that's El Centro de la Raza, RIWA, Villa Comunitaria, from Google.org, Aaron Hattersley, which we couldn't have done this without you, Rosmi, Bayan, Leanne, Yvonne, Sophia, Joe, Hans, and many, many others. And from the city of Seattle, I really want to call out Elise Kalstead in the room, who this would not have happened without. Laura Lee, Taylor Oden, the FreshBucks team, Ashley Cooper, who's in the room, who's like providing so much support from IT, as well as Matt, Miguel, Gwen, Swati, and Zarif, and so many other city staff who have tested, provided feedback, and helped build. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Mayor Harrell. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Let's give that a hand. I'm glad you properly recognize members of the team and our outside partners, because when equity, the term equity sometimes has been tossed around here and there. But in our administration, we openly talk about trying to always look through issues through the lens of someone else, I've struggled with certain forms with the federal government. I've struggled looking at certain forms, and I've been speaking English my entire life, and I'm pretty good with a computer. Imagine, again, you have the stress of life, the stress of COVID, and English is not your first language. You have to look at it through that lens, and I think this is an appropriate segue into introducing Paco Galanes, the Director of Engineering Google, because this is the work they do. And again, working with the community-based organizations who know their community. This is, as I said, equity at its finest. Paco, if I could be so bold as to use his first name, and just Paco and I go way back. Yeah. He's an engineering director at Google, currently head of engineering for Android Auto and site lead for Google Kirkland. He's born in Spain. He received his PhD in telecommunications from Spain, and he moved to the States in 1996, where he joined Entropic, which is a small company building speech technology solutions, which was acquired by Microsoft in 1999. So that background, again, he's been gracious to support this effort, and I would imagine somewhere in his life and his education, he fell in love with this concept of equity, and so we're very happy to have his leadership through this project. Paco, please share a few words.
Thank you, Mayor Harrell. Thank you. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to represent Google and Google.org, our philanthropic arm, here today. Yes, I've been in the Puget Sound. This is actually my second time around. First one was with Microsoft, and then I've been here since 2007. I had to come back, and my family and myself really fell in love with this area, and we like to contribute any way we can. As does Google, we always have feel that we have the responsibility to be a good neighbor, excuse me, in the communities that we call home. We've been in the Seattle area since 2004, when we opened our first office. And since then, we've invested not only in growing our presence here, but also in helping our communities around us. Our grants and our financial support has allowed us to really work with incredible organizations, but we believe that our biggest asset is our people. The people that work for Google, and therefore we really are incredibly happy that in 2020 we could launch this fellowship with the City of Seattle, the Google.org fellowship, which was a program, as the mayor and Leah have already mentioned, that allows teams of Google employees to really work full-time for up to 6 months pro bono, and helping nonprofits and civic organizations to solve their biggest technical challenges. Google.org fellows, and I see some of them here today, thank you for all the work, by the way, in the city of Seattle, came together to address the urgent need of expanding access to these public discount programs. The result was CiviForm, and the team worked directly with civic organizations like CISC, our host today. Thank you for hosting us. And they worked together to design, develop, and launch a tool that really enables residents and community organizations to find and apply to multiple programs in just one place. Since launching in 2021, CiviForm has enabled thousands of Seattle residents and to apply to public affordability programs. And I think this is a testament to the impact that public and private collaboration can have. Actually, the challenges that CiviForm addresses are not unique to Seattle. And we know that they're faced by communities all around the country. We believe that there's an estimated $8 billion in public funding that goes unused just in the United States. So that's why we are really thrilled that other governments, including our first state, really are following Seattle's lead and working with Google.org fellows to scale CiviForm across the country. It all started here, so a big round of applause for Seattle. I want to thank you for giving Google.org fellows this unique opportunity to collaborate and innovate. And we're excited to see the continued impact the CiviForm will have in this community. I speak for all of us at Google when I say that we look forward to partnering with all of you in future challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Paco. Thank you very much, Paco. Thank you very much for your work and your words. Our last speaker will be Michael Itti, who I think many of you know is the Executive Director of the Chinese Information Service Center. And basically, as a lifelong resident here, we've seen for years and years the work they've done to empower immigrant communities to do a few things. Number one, to succeed in their own life, but also to honor their own heritage. And that's that calibration. It, quite frankly, is a beautiful experience. And he exemplifies the kind of leadership you want to see doing this kind of work. In 2013, the Governor Jay Inslee had appointed Michael as the Executive Director of the Washington State Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs. And I think personally that's the first time I recognize him for his strong leadership. So again, thank you, Michael, for your efforts here, and we'd love to hear a few words from you. Michael.
Thank you, Mayor. CISC is a community-based organization that's been serving the community since 1972, ever since University of Washington students came together to serve immigrants in the Chinatown International District. And 51 years later, we now are a team of 140 bilingual staff who speak Chinese, Russian, Vietnamese, Ukrainian, and Spanish languages, serving immigrants across King County. And in our Seattle office here in the Seattle Chinatown International District, several thousand people come to us every single year. And we get more than 10,000 visits from people, from older adults, from family members, asking questions about how to access services that improve their quality of life, that everyone in the city is able to enjoy and enjoying the neighborhoods and parks. And we want to make sure that people are able to live and thrive in their own neighborhoods. We know the cost of living is going up, and so these public programs, these benefits, help people thrive in the city. We're able to help people access home heating assistance and accessing farmers market vouchers to get fresh vegetables and fruits. And so these are important programs that help maintain and improve the well-being. And we are especially grateful for the city's leadership, the mayor, Google.org for working on this project. And we had a longtime staff member who's on the ground every single day helping immigrant communities. And they provide a lot of feedback that helped to build this platform to ensure that it's usable and accessible, because CISC is one of many, many organizations in the city that's providing services to communities, especially immigrants and refugees who are limited or no English speaking. And so that was really important to have that perspective, to integrate it into this work, because we have a lot of staff that take, as the mayor mentioned, time is a really valuable resource. And every single day we have staff that meet with people, a lot of seniors that live in the buildings in this neighborhood. And so special thanks to my colleagues and team members for doing all the work they can every single day to serve the people of Seattle. And we also do this in partnership with many organizations like Bird Bar Place and United Way who run different programs like the Home Heating Assistance Program and the Rental Assistance Program. So I just wanted to, in closing, mention a comment that my colleague Carrie mentioned, that CISC is devoted to improving equitable access to information, resources, and social services for the past 50 years. We are thrilled to partner with the city and Google.org for the CiviForm project that provides a single point of entry for vital public programs in the city. It's been such a pleasure to be part of this effort in making resources more accessible for people to improve their quality of life. Thank you again to the city and Google.org fellows for all your incredible work to serve the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, I believe we're going to do a signing first, and then there'll be some questions after. So this is the fun part. We're going to have some fun first before we do a little Q&A, and we're going to sign it in. So yes, we're going to hold for a second while we get some partners. Okay, we can do that.
Hey, good to see you too. Hi, Daniela. So good to see you too. I'm so glad you were here. Thank you. I'm sort of in the front.
Yes.
Exactly. I've been here my whole life. Moving in a little bit.
No squatting. No squatting.
Oh, you're moving in front of me.
That's what's going to happen.
Okay, I'm ordering some work to be done. All right. That we already started, and it's very, very exciting. And I've been told you can eBay these pins, and they go quite a pretty good price. All right, and the crowd said thank you. Michael, you get the honors of passing out, okay? So pass those pins out. A few. Now, over here, Crystal, can you hold this one?
Oh, thanks.
Okay, thank you, team. And just to make it clear, the executive order examined the pilot and the great work that we've done based on the reception that we had toward the tool, and it creates in our One Seattle vision all of our departments to make sure that they are exemplifying this easy-to-use tool. And quite frankly, it takes software, it takes people skills. We're going to get it done because this is our commitment to equity. When we talk about this beautiful aquarium that we're building as we speak, we talk about Woodland Park Zoo, we talk about our park system, which is one of the top-rated park systems in the country. The first question we ask our administration at the City of Seattle is it affordable? Is it accessible? And if it's not, it's all for naught. If only the rich could afford it, it's not a good thing. And so this is the work that we're driving. And again, it's our partners at Google and are supporting Google's efforts, and the community-based organizations that we deeply appreciate. So thank you very much. And with that, I'll take a few questions.
Is this live now? I heard that
Yes.
certain departments are going to be added later.
Yes, the tool is up and running. It does not cover all of the city services. That is the executive order. And as I said earlier, we have over 12,000 people that have taken advantage of it, and they were able to achieve results in 5 minutes, which was an 80% reduction in time. And I gave some data about it saving people up to $23,000 a year if they could apply throughout the system of the 30 services that we have. So it is up and running now, and we're expanding it with the help of our those who we're working with.
If a person doesn't know about certain discounts, is there a menu that just lays them all out for you?
Yes, and I think we may do a tool at the end of this, Joel, to show you how it works. But I've played around with the tool. So you put your name in there, and you talk about how many in your household, and you talk about your income, and you talk about what you're looking for, and it gives you a menu, a suite of all of the different services. And right now, of course, the irony is all of these services are available right now. Quite frankly, in my humble opinion, some of them are just a little tedious to get into. It's not a result of bad technology. Perhaps we just did not, as a city, take the time to ask ourselves, is this really, really easy to use? And that's where the feedback from our partners like here at CISC and others really come into play. So we're doing the work now, but the question is, are we really reaching the demographics that we want to reach? And as mayor, I'm not convinced we are. Okay, I'm going to give you a few more seconds for questions, and if not, I'm going to shake some hands and applaud my. Go ahead, Joel. Off topic?
Yeah.
You got it.
All-Star game.
Yes, sir.
The city spent a lot of time prepping for that.
Yes.
Your take on how everything went?
So my take on it is that you've heard me say this line before, and I'll use it whenever I feel like using it, quite frankly. We don't take victory laps. That we put forth our best effort, whether we're trying to help people, help small businesses generate revenue, keep people safe, keep people sheltered. We've gotten overwhelmingly positive feedback on the experience from all over, but we're always trying to get better, better, better. So we will examine our efforts. We have several activities we're preparing for. We're getting ready for Seafair. So I wish we set this up perfectly, that Julio Rodriguez, he could have won this game. The count was full. We couldn't have drew it up any better, but he got a walk. And unfortunately, we didn't win the game, but in terms of the fan experience, we've gotten great feedback. But for us, it's all about being a learning organization. So we'll learn and try to get better.
And just the city put a lot of polish up. How do you maintain that in the weeks and months to come?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. This morning, I think around 7:38, I had breakfast with the people organizing the FIFA games, and they'll leave here and they'll go to San Diego and do some other trips. And what I impressed upon them is that everything we try to do has to be sustainable. And so when we look at capital improvements in a certain area, can this be sustainable? So as we prepare for those, and I know people say FIFA's a long time away in 2026, but there's an incredible amount of work that will go into it. So with respect to the All-Star game, the lessons we learned, All-Star Week, the lessons we learned, again, for public safety and for helping those that just can't participate. I'll give you a good example. We did a first. The Historical Black Colleges, HBCU system, held a game here. I went to affordability. We made tickets $10 a ticket, and we were able to get some scholarship tickets as well. And I saw showing out there in the stadium, many people had never been to T-Mobile Park. That's the kind of experience. And if you look at the number of African Americans in the major leagues, I think recent statistics would suggest that at one point it was around 30% and it dropped down to 6% for African American born athletes. And so this exposure to HBCUs becomes a critical attempt to make sure that we're getting the right exposure to right people. So, and you also know that the Mariners in the major leagues put a $2 million investment in Rainier Playfield at 98118 or 98144, in the most diverse zip code in the country. So it's those kinds of sustainable investments that we're always looking to do. It has to be sustainable and it has to be meaningful to our community. So we're happy with that partnership we established. The game was great except for the outcome of the darn game. But it was a great fan experience, and we'll continue to try to host those kinds of events because it's good for the city. Okay, 3, 2, 1, Seattle. Thank you very much.